What's up, and welcome to episode 289 of First Geek 411. We got a whole new layout as we dive into our topics for the week, like the new Pope. We got Fallout Season 2 wrapping, and it turns out Expeditions 33's soundtrack is a banger. With me, as always, as we go through this news, over in West Coast, Best Coast, is Emma. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing good. Like I said at the beginning, we got this new layout going. I'm really excited. I've been wanting to do this for a while, and then nothing was stopping me other than my own dedication to doing it. And so here we are.
Yep.
We might even see some other changes roll out through it. I have some stuff in the works that I'm trying to get done. That unfortunately I have no clue how to do. And so we'll see if I'm able to locate tutorials and stuff like that. And so have some fun ideas. And I'm very excited and very hopeful. This is obviously going to be a learning curve, as my Stream Deck to switch to this scene didn't work. And so will the other shortcuts work? Maybe. We'll find out as we go.
We won't know until we try them.
Exactly. And so, but yeah, people watching, let us know what you think. Trying to do, it's a little bit different. Like, we're a little bit more like vertical, but like we're a little bigger versus just being the box. I felt there was just like too much dead space on the other scene. So we're trying this. And yeah, like I said, it's an adventure. All the other stuff is still there. So we will potentially be switching back and forth as I get stuff figured out. Like, I'm not sure how this is going to work for the three of us for a book club, so we're going to just kind of let the vibes guide us. But
that's really the best way to do it.
Yeah, like again, let our heart be our guiding key. I said that at Lorcana last week to somebody, and so.
Yep.
So before we get into what we have been up to, you can find us around the internet as OneGeek411. Join that Discord server. Shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Watch live on Twitch and YouTube Monday nights around 6:45 Mountain Time, 6:30-ish. You can also find all of our VODs over on YouTube. And then you can also check out that Redbubble store for the merch. Emma, what have you been up to this past week?
Things. I have continued to have my nose in a book whenever I can.
Nice.
And when I'm not doing other hobbies. I have finished essentially a whole book this week, and I'm halfway through another. So it's been a good time. Just trekking along and killing it with all of these books I'm reading. So I'm very proud of myself. That trend has been going on for like 2 or 3 weeks now, and I'm glad it has continued because it's lots of fun. I played D&D this week for the first time in a while. Nice. And it was a lot of fun. We had like 2 weeks off from Cantrip because the DM was out of town and filming and doing all these things, so we didn't play for 2 weeks. And then I got to play this week, and it was a lot of fun. And I don't even remember what happened. I just know it was a good time. So, you know, sometimes you just go for the vibes, and there's a bug in my room that's distracting me.
Get him.
I got it!
Nice. First try. Never didn't have it.
It was a lot of fun. D&D, you know, it's always fun. And then a band that I really like, that is To the Surprise of No One from England, released a new album this week, and I just got the vinyl in for it. And it's really pretty, and I just want to show it off to people. And I'm not going to pull the actual records out, but they're like a fun see-through olive green color. And so I've been playing that on repeat since it came out, and it's really good, and I'm very happy with it. And I'm going to their concert in October with a friend.
Ooh,
so that's
nice.
going to be fun. Yeah. And yeah, one of the big things I've been doing this week is I got myself blueprints finally, because I figured I might as well. And that, on top of reading, has been like my big time consuming thing. It is so good. There are so many like secrets I wouldn't have even thought. Like, I was talking to someone about the game somewhere, And they're like, "Oh yeah, like, have you gotten the combo to the spoiler to the safe in the drawing room yet?" And I was like, "There's a safe in the drawing room? I've been through that room so many times, and I've never seen a safe." And they're like, "You gotta look at the picture." And I'm like, "I have looked at the picture." And then I finally, like, I spent like a solid 10 seconds like actually processing everything, and I was like, "Oh, how did I miss that?" But I've been having so much fun with it. I've had a couple of really good runs um that have gotten me so close to like actually getting into the antechamber, but I've like gotten backed into a corner, which sucks,
Mm-hmm.
but it happens. I'm learning, I'm figuring things out. I have this big, you probably can't see it, but I have a big like drawing pad that's been kept by my where I play for a while now, just as storage, that I have pulled out. It's like maybe two printer sheets size. That has been my note taking thing,
Nice.
and it's a lot of fun, and I'm having a blast. And one of the I just got the foundation unlocked, and one of the outside places unlocked,
Nice.
and it's a good time. I have two other outside. I have the orchard unlocked and the tool shed
Nice.
place unlocked, and those both have helped a lot. Um, but yeah, I'm having so much fun with it, and it really makes me think and use my brain, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like a good puzzle game. Um,
Yeah, I would
and
like to enter into evidence your
yes.
message from last night at 8:57 p.m. Central Time when Last of Us starts at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
I just finished playing Blueprints, so I'm gonna make food then before I dive into the episode. And this is exactly why we were late a couple weeks ago. Is because we get in it, and then it's like, oops, time went by, and this run was good, and now I'm 45
Yeah.
minutes late to the premiere.
Yeah. When I sat down to play it this afternoon, I literally like set a timer for or alarm for 5 p.m. for podcast because I knew I would forget to keep my eye on the time, and then I just wouldn't show up to this. I would get so lost in it. It is so good, and it is a lot of fun. And it is like now I keep wondering if all of the rooms I just randomly walk through consistently have secret things that I just never picked up on. Because
And
I'm
also plot
blind.
twist, yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Shocker.
yeah.
I'm not surprised. So I've made progress? Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think I've made progress, but it's so hard to tell with this game.
Yeah.
Like if you've actually made progress, big picture or not, because everything just resets every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I've had a couple of really good days or rounds that it makes me feel proud of myself, even though like I was so close and yet so far.
Yeah. Do you know what
So
day you're on?
I'm on like 19 or 20,
Okay.
roughly something around there. I assume the generic deadline is 365 days, like a year. You have a year to figure it out before
Yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah, I don't know if there's actually an end. So
who's keeping track, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play more. And then I've been watching Doctor Who, of course. We're going into finale season, as I call it. And this last episode was a lot of fun. A good chunk of it felt a bit too exposition-y to me, just as a generic review. But it was fun. Fun idea, fun execution, and all of that. And then The Last of Us, watched that as well. Good times. A lot of my thoughts/complaints
Hmm.
are in the Discord. I don't want to spoil, ruin anything too much other than I want it to feel a bit more revenge-y. I'm not getting the full sense of revenge,
Hmm.
and I want it.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Yeah. And I think the way that it works out timing wise is the 25th is going to be the last episode of this season. Then
Mm-hmm.
the 26th we'll have book club. And so then I think on June 2nd is when we'll do our Last of Us season 2 spoiler cast, just as a
Vibes.
that should work out.
Yeah.
But just as like a call out there for everybody. Yeah, I'm so excited that you're playing Blueprints. Like, it's
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely a game that I have been recommending to so many people. And
Yeah.
as like a puzzle game, it just does so much well. Where it's like
Yeah.
you do have the initial goal of getting through like through the antechamber, but then
Mm-hmm.
there is so many other mysteries and so much going on, and like there are so many things, like you mentioning the drawing room. I don't think I had found the drawing room until after I made it through the antechamber.
I get it
Like,
quite a lot, actually.
yeah. So like that's cool.
Even
I
if
just
I
think that
don't
that's
put
super
it
interesting.
down,
Yeah.
it's like, well, and on that, like, one of the interesting things is that for the past like 5 rounds I've gone through, I've been trying to like double dip, not double dip, but like get both the security room and the
Hmm.
breaker box
Yeah.
room, because those, it's like, you kind of need one to use the
Hmm.
other, in order for it to be fully effective, especially when you have a lot of security doors. Um, and I don't think I've gotten the breaker box room in like 5 rounds. I
Yeah.
just straight up haven't seen it at all. And I'm like, guys, come on, that's the one thing I need to make this
Hmm.
successful. Like, come on, give me the breaker box room. I'll put myself into a dead end if I have to.
Just give me something.
Just give
Yeah.
me the breaker box, and I haven't
One of
gotten
the
it, and
yeah, one of the
it's
things that the game does
annoying.
so well is that there are so many different puzzles to solve. So
Yeah,
like, but that can also be one of the struggles of like, for I don't want to go into the specifics of what it is, but there's a puzzle around the pump room that you need
yeah,
to have gotten the pool
I
to get
just
the
did
pump
that.
room, and then
Yeah,
like then you need to do stuff with the pump room, and
yep,
the amount of times that I had dropped the pool and then did not see the pump room, and then it was just like, well, I just can't do anything yet because I like,
yep,
but like the game rewards you like not getting locked in on one mystery. So like
yeah,
for example, the run where I finally got through the antechamber for the first time was a run that I was just like working on some other stuff, and then it was
yeah.
like, oh, wait a second, this is the
I
run.
can get in.
And it just kind of like all came together in that run, as I was like, of course, like not trying to make it through the antechamber, but it just kind of worked out.
Yeah,
And I definitely think that that's like one of the things that the game does well is it's like, hey, like you're working on stuff and chipping away at some puzzles. Like there are some bigger puzzles that are just like not necessarily in a hurry to do, but like there's
yeah,
some very cool stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, so
It
for
really
me,
is very cool.
um,
That's
yeah,
it.
I need to get back into it. I fell off because I've been playing Expedition 33,
Yeah.
and I beat that this week. Actually beat it yesterday, and Emma, this is like an all timer for me. Like,
I so wish I could play it, but I don't have the
yeah,
systems for it.
yeah. I have been. I'm going to go for the platinum. I've decided
Nice.
because I am enjoying it so much that I definitely want to play more, and that is like encouraging me to go and take on some of like the optional bosses and stuff like that you don't have to do to finish the game. But I'm also like going through and like finishing characters like side quests and stuff like that again aren't mandatory to beat the game. Like I had the time where it was like, hey, you can go fight the final boss And a friend of mine had like just beat the game earlier that day. And I was like, hey, when you beat the boss, it kicks you out before the fight, right? Like you're not locked into going straight into New Game Plus. And you're like, yes. I'm like, good. Because I want to see the ending. Because I want to be able to talk about the ending versus spending, from what I've heard, about another like 10 to 15 hours doing the rest of the content in the game. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't want to wait that amount of time to then go and get the actual ending. And so I went and finished it. And then, yeah, like I said, I think it's an all-timer. We'll talk about it in one of the news stories as well. But it is such a fantastic RPG. The characters are so great. I'm very excited for whatever the studio is going to be doing next. Just for like the way that they have told the story and put things together. Sneaky in chat says no spoilers. And so I'm very excited to see, again, like what that is going to be in the future. And then, yeah, like I said, secret bosses. I had a very frustrating boss yesterday as one of the side bosses. And it was just like a very frustrating like battle format where like, again, try not to go into anything too specific, but basically if the boss KO'd one of your characters, they would heal. Like they had a follow-up move that they could do to heal, and then that took that character out of the battle, so you couldn't revive them.
That's rude.
Yes. So, but what gets even worse is there's a way of like dealing enough damage to get your character back, but the enemy is so fast that I did that, and then the character came back, and then they removed them from the battle again to heal. And I was like, that is brutally unfair. That like I literally had no chance to revive my character. So then I ended up just like losing the fight, went back in and kind of had a more easy run through now that I like knew what the boss was up to, which I think is one of the best parts. Is like there's a lot of the different bosses are like, hey, like it does like the best thing that a lot of turn-based games do, which is that really it's a puzzle game. Like it's what is the puzzle of this boss? Or in this game where you can like parry and dodge attacks, it's like a rhythm game. Where you're trying to like, hey, what is the rhythm? What's the pattern? And you're going through and doing that. And so I'm definitely looking forward to playing more. I am very sad we're not going to have an Expedition 33 spoiler cast just because I want to talk about it so much. But
I wish we could, but I don't have an Xbox or Windows.
It is on PS5.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it wasn't.
No, it is. It's on Game Pass for Xbox, but it is on PlayStation as well. So, I know that I think we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. I know you struggle with very like cinematic heavy games. This one isn't as cinematic heavy as like Final Fantasy 16 was, but there are definitely a lot of cinematics.
It is on PlayStation. I don't know why I thought it wasn't.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I'm currently stuck on Blueprints, so.
Yeah. I will put it out there for you. This is kind of what I was saying to Shanine last time about Blueprints. Of like, if you don't want it now, it is definitely a game that I would recommend keeping an eye out on. And if it goes on sale, I would definitely recommend trying it. And then Sneaky has a great point. And again, shout out to the chat being on the side now. So it's not just me having to read. People can actually see what's happening. I like that once you figure out the weaknesses of the bosses, you can die, switch weapons, and set up your characters for a better run. Yes. There's a little bit of kind of the annoying run back to some bosses. It's not nearly as bad as like a Souls game, but it was just like, man, why can't you give me the menu of like, do you want to change your equipment? Yes, no. Okay. Re-enter the fight. Like, I really wish it gave you that option. That is definitely, there's some of that UI or UX type stuff that I wish was a little better, but overall, beautiful game. Love the characters. Some all-time great party members for any like RPG in this group. Some fantastic voice acting. But yeah, if you've been playing Expedition 33, jump in the Discord. Let me know. I'm up for full spoilers, so you can always DM me. I want to talk about this game so much. And then you mentioned books. I have been reading The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwyn, for the Mad Bird Book Club for this month because the theme was dragons or weather. And this book has a dragon in the cover. So far,
Nice.
I would say that this book is surprisingly mediocre, which I'm kind of sad about. Admit it, I'm like a little over or a little under 2/3 of the way through it. I will say the main problem that I've had is one, I feel like this is not an audiobook book. I feel like I would enjoy this book a lot more if I was reading it. And the reason that I'm struggling with it is because there's 3 different like POV characters and they're all interacting with different people. But because it is like Viking based, it's hard to keep the characters' names straight.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely something that I have been struggling with the audiobook. Like I said, I don't think that's a problem with the book. I think that's just a problem with me. I have also been trying to get through it quickly because for some reason, a bunch of the books that I've had on hold for like 2 or 3 months are finally available. So like I need to get through all like a bunch of different books so that because if I don't, I won't be able to get them again for several months. And so, so I am like not reading it in the optimal condition. And so, I'm hopeful that it's a book that if I was to go and buy the physical book, I would enjoy it more. We'll see if I end up doing that or what's the case or what I think by the time it ends. Like it's by no means bad and I'm definitely enjoying it, but it's definitely a book that I am struggling, kind of just based on how I am going through it. I have been trying to watch Doctor Who and just have not gotten around to doing it. I started the Ruby episode and then went to get donuts for us for breakfast on Saturday. And so then just never made it back to it. So, it's on the list. Like I want to do it. I really liked I probably got like halfway through the Ruby Sunday episode. And so I'm excited for it. It does do one of my favorite Doctor Who things that I wish they would do more, which is where the Doctor's timeline is out of order for the characters.
Yeah.
So, like, I really like the idea of the guy meets the Doctor and Chandra, but even though he then meets Ruby, who was chronologically the companion first. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
the other part of it that it does that I like is that it's an episode where the Doctor is not there. It's a companion and or a side character that runs the show for that episode. And I love it when Doctor Who does that. They're just like, let's take a break from this guy over here for a while. Let's go see what these people are doing over here. And it's a fun time.
Yeah, I will say that trope might not be the right word. That style episode hits different when we only have like an 8-episode season. Like, when you have much longer seasons, having an episode without the Doctor is like, oh, okay. But like when you don't have a lot of them, like it definitely feels a little rougher to not have the Doctor, especially when there was an episode last season that we also didn't have the Doctor. Now, granted, that episode was really good. It was probably one of my favorite episodes from that season. But to devote another episode to Ruby without the Doctor is again in a I can't think of the expression. It's not something that I have like an issue with like on principle. It's just something that like I kind of like it like wish that we were seeing.
Seasons are shorter. It's not the same.
And if we were going to do this, I would much rather us get an episode about Chandra, just because she's the current companion. And so I wish we were getting more there. But like I said, I have enjoyed the episode of what I've seen so far. I'm hopefully going to get caught up this week. I mean, I'm like an episode and a half behind. And then we'll see where that ends, because we're potentially going to be doing back-to-back spoiler casts for that and The Last of Us. So in terms of shows I have been watching, The Last of Us. Loved it. Great episode last night. I do like that in our Discord chat, going to keep plugging that, we have been having great conversations around every episode. And while I feel like none of us have 100% loved everything, we have all enjoyed the show. And I feel like that is a sign of like good changes of like, you don't have to like everything. You can still enjoy what you're watching. And so
Yep.
I have definitely enjoyed that. And I'm excited to see where we go for the rest of this season. And because we got 2 episodes left and there is some big stuff that we got to get. And so I'm very curious to where we're going to leave off in terms of like what may or may not happen or needs to get squeezed in from the game or whatever. So I'm excited to see those. And then have been watching Andor. We have 3 episodes left. So that'll finish up this week as all of those drop. And so, yeah, been really enjoying that show as well. Some of the best Star Wars has ever Star Warsed. And yeah, I've been loving the flushing out of the non-Jedi side of this conflict. And I've really enjoyed seeing that side of the show where we actually had to like build the rebellion and there's no space wizards and like, I think it's very cool to see. Yeah. It's to see the like, I mean, of course, like Cassian is like a super spy, but like to see like just a guy that's out here and there's a member of the Empire that's doing bad stuff and needs to be stopped and Cassian has to go do it. And like, there's no like, force like persuasion. There's none of that. He's just a guy that has to like get people to join his cause. And so I think that's super cool. And it's been a great story. And then I have been hobbying the hobbies in a more general sense. I built a new Lorcana deck. And so this past week at Locals was my first time playing that. It went really well. I went 2-1, including getting a win on one of my friends that's there. And so that was fun. He actually was, this is the first time I've played him since we met there. He'd gone for a while and I met him like my first time playing at that shop. And he was my first match there. And this is the first time that we've played since then. So it was really fun to play him again. And then got trounced in one of the matchups and then trounced another person in a different round. And so kind of had a couple back and forths and then but yeah, it's very fun. I'm enjoying the new deck. I'm definitely missing some cards still, so we'll get that filled out.
Yeah.
And then I posted pictures of this over in the Discord, but people will know that I have been making mead, and I have now started making cider. And it is bottled. I'm so excited. There's a local cider shop called Bishop's Cider here in Dallas. And they have an apple pineapple, which is one of my favorites. And so we went for that vibe for it. So now it's sitting. I'm going to be seeing some friends soon. And so I can't wait for them to come and get to share the bottles with them. And so that's going to be a lot of fun. I have enough apple juice to make another batch. So probably going to be doing that soon as well. And so, yeah, I'm very excited for all of that. And then last thing, and we can jump into our news for this week, is I have been reading through the Pendragon Core rulebook. I have really been enjoying what I'm reading. It's definitely dense, like coming from reading this from the Marvel Multiverse that like has a lot of rules, but is not as rules dense as this one. There's definitely a lot going on here, and it's like, I think that's a good thing. But like, I'm like just finished the section on character creation and wow, there's a lot of steps. And again, that's not a complaint. That is just an observation. I mentioned before, this is also my first time going through a rule book with the tag things from the very start. Yep. I've like gone through and added those to like my Marvel Multiverse books. So that's been fun as well. I'm color coding things. And so like right now I have green, which is lore, yellow, which is like general rules, then blue, which is character creation. And so that's been really fun to go through and get through that. I'm on page 61, like 200 more pages to go. And so we're making progress. And then I have the Game Master book, and then I have the actual campaign. And so got a lot of reading to do on that front. So, but yeah, that is what we have been up to. Chat. Hit us up with what you've been up to. We'll chat about it as we go, or we will hit it over in the post-show chat. But with that, let's jump into our topics for the week. Emma, what have you got for us?
Pope. Yay, new Pope. We like this Pope, and he's from America. He's from Chicago. He's the
Chicago.
first pope ever to be an American, which I was kind of iffy on for a while, and then I learned that he was picked by Francis to be for a very important role, like before Francis died. Um, which means we like him. Um, he is Pope Leo the 14th, and he's from Chicago, which means the Pope has officially experienced deep dish pizza at least once in his life. And yeah, it took like 2 days, which was very quick for them to pick a new guy. That's very quick for picking a Pope. Doesn't sound very quick. It sounds actually like a long time, but it's for picking a Pope, that was very quick. And I've seen nothing but good things about him since he was selected. So, yeah. Yeah.
As someone who's not Catholic, I've loved the memes.
Yeah.
I like that we can be silly about stuff and it can just solely be about being silly.
Yeah.
Like,
he is a Pope who lives in Florida.
Yeah, just like the number of things that like jokes about them like having to like make deep dish pizza at the Vatican now and stuff like that. Like there's just been like so many good jokes, and like I said, I just love that we have a piece of lighthearted world news. And so
yeah,
I've really been enjoying that side of it.
It's been great. It's been great. It was the fact that it was a quick decision as well meant that people were like very much in agreement on, you know, a lot of things about him, which is good. I mean, there's always no one's perfect, but at the same time, like I was concerned we were gonna to pitch heavily in the opposite direction that Francis was existing in, which is not the direction I personally wanted to go. So I'm glad that we did not do that. And he's cool. We like him. And I too love the jokes. The jokes are great. And the memes. I've seen a couple of interviews with his brothers. He has 2 brothers, as far as I'm aware. I know one of them lives in Florida. And those are great because both of them are just like, we weren't expecting it at all, but it makes so much sense because when we were kids, all he wanted to do was play priest. Well, we wanted to play like war or whatever. So it makes sense. And it's just this guy who's, you know, hanging out in Florida and with the gators and whatnot. And he's just like, yeah, the tracks. It makes sense that he's the Pope. So
this definitely makes it feel way more like close to home when just like he's literally like the first time we had an American Pope of just like, yeah, just some guy. Like,
he's just someone who grew up in Chicago, you know.
Yeah,
we know where that is. So good times.
And then I got 2 things for us geeky news wise. First off, we got the Fallout TV show. We have received news from the official Fallout Twitter account, as well from Ella Purnell, who plays Lucy, one of the leads, that Fallout Season 2 has officially wrapped filming, which is fantastic. The show was originally slated to premiere in the first half of 2026, but did have to be put on pause because of the LA wildfires. So the actual premiere date is a little unclear now in terms of what that's going to actually like be for the show. But I am still really excited. Did you watch Fallout Season 1?
I did. And I loved it. I thought it was great. I'm ready for more Walton Goggins as the ghoul.
Yes. And so I'm sure we talked about this before, but I love that we can get great TV shows, one of which, in the case of The Last of Us, pretty closely follows the game. And then the other being Fallout that like has nothing to do with the games other than like the meta lore. And so I think that both of those,
but it's still fabulous.
Both of them being great. Yeah, exactly. Like that's such a good place for us to be as fans. Where like I spent so much time in Fallout 3
Yep.
And I'm excited to see more of this world, but I would by no means consider myself a fan of the story of the Fallout games. I'm a fan of the world and what's going on. And so getting to see them take that and tell their own story, I think has been super cool.
Yeah.
And again, it's cool that we get both sides of that. And then as another quick piece of Fallout news, we did get the confirmation. I believe it's the guy who plays the Brotherhood of Steel Knight. I think the character's name is Maximus. He confirmed or has said that when the show was being pitched to him for like his character's arc, that it was being pitched as like a 5-season thing, which of course anything could happen, but I think that that's super cool that we could potentially be getting 5 seasons of this show if that's what the writers have in mind. Like that seems like an awesome length of tell your story. 5 seasons is a lot of time to do stuff with, and then you can wrap it and call it, and we can get a spinoff or whatever, but like actually having that as your concise story. So hopefully the quality continues to stay up, and that way people continue to watch. And then I should also say that there are, I guess this is maybe technically a spoiler for the end of season 1, but it does look like we are heading to New Vegas in this season, which is going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for us to see that area again. New Vegas is a really good game and has a lot of very fun stuff. And so I'm very excited for us to see more of that. Anything you're specifically looking forward to in Fallout Season 2?
More humorous post-apocalyptic nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really all Fallout has ever been, and I want more of that. It's a good time. I really just watch it for the vibes, and it never fails to deliver on vibes. Just at least in the games, what I've played of the games, and like what the first season is. It's a good time. I think now what I actually really want, now that I think about it, is, you know, the robot companion butler person in Fallout 4 who like helps you out and floats around and stuff? I want that in the second season. Like I want one of those to show up. We got a couple of like the one
with
that's like evil or whatever.
Yeah. I want us to see a good one. Like one that's like actually helpful and is not like trying to murder people. Which I guess is all in the eye of the beholder, right? It was helping someone. It was just someone that was.
It was helping someone, just not our someone.
Yeah, just not Lucy, who was the person that we wanted them to help. And so, but yeah, I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, for me, I definitely want to see more of the monsters. So like that's such a big part of the Fallout lore is like they're not just cockroaches, they're rat roaches. It's like we got to see some of that with the like axolotl monster. I want to see more stuff like that. Like what is the over the top, like give us cool like monster design. Like there's giant crabs in the games. There's obviously like the super mutants and the death claws, like the bloat flies, I think they're called. Like give us more of like that style stuff. I think that'd be very fun. Like I would love to see them have to navigate like a bloatfly swarm or something like that, of like they're coming and you have to like hunker down, and that's like an excuse for our characters to like be locked in somewhere. And so I think that'd be very fun.
Yeah.
Chat, hit us up. What do you think? Are you excited for Fallout Season 2? And then let's go to our final discussion topic for this week. We're talking more Expedition 33. And specifically, I want us to chat about the soundtrack, because the soundtrack has been making some serious waves around the internet. It is doing great on the Billboard charts for classical albums and classical crossover albums. And then it has hit 13th on the official soundtrack album chart and 31st on the official album download chart. And so
good for them.
Yeah. And as Sneaky says in chat, soundtrack is phenomenal. This is probably one of the best video game soundtracks we have had in a very long time in terms of every single track is a banger. They have Sandfall has been posting like actual music videos for their songs over on their YouTube channel.
That's fun.
And yeah, and there's one of like the orchestra like performing like kind of the theme song, and it's super good. They put so much into the music of this game, and it has been so cool going into like a boss fight and getting their specific boss theme, and they're just like so different and outwritten, like over the top in like the best ways. Sneaky says the fact that they found the composer on SoundCloud is wild to me. Yeah, like the puzzle pieces coming together for this game is bananas. And Locke says, y'all are making me mad FOMO on Expedition 33. Locke, hand me the mic on Wednesday night, and I will tell you all about Expedition 33 and give you more FOMO. And yeah, so I just want to like shout this out. Like, we were talking over in the Discord about this, and I had posted this in a couple different places, but the soundtrack for this is so insanely good that if this doesn't get nominated for like, I mean, I want it to go out for Game of the Year just because it's an all-timer for me. But like, if the soundtrack for this game doesn't get nominated for awards, like, I am so excited for what that means for the other soundtracks. Yeah. Like, I just am so like, again, the soundtrack is just so insanely good. I have not gone and like listened to the soundtrack on Spotify yet because I was trying to avoid the boss themes for the bosses I hadn't fought yet because I wanted to hit them organically. But now that I have finished the game, I am going to actually go in and like listen through the soundtrack, watch more of the videos and stuff like that, just because I am very interested in just like hearing all of this. Do I understand what they're about? No, because they speak in French. So I also need to go and get Google Translate to help me understand the words to these songs. But because I'm a dumb American that barely speaks English. And so, but I really want to go through and listen to the soundtrack more. And they did say with that the Epic Lumiere has established itself as this is from IGN, as the most popular track, though, with nearly 1.9 million views on YouTube and a little more than 1.9 million streams on Spotify. Let's go.
Really good. That's really good numbers wise.
Yeah, like I'm so excited for them, and we mentioned this 2 weeks ago or something, but the fact that like the core group for this game is 30 people, I think is so crazy. And obviously more people than that worked on it, but like in terms of like the core group, I think that that's so cool that we've seen this game be so successful from such a small team. The game has passed 2 million sales as well, which is fantastic. Nice. Like, I really hope that continues for this developers. I did see there were some like insiders or like industry analyst speculation that they could see it hitting 10 million sales, which would be fantastic for a JRPG like that.
Yeah.
Although it feels weird calling it a JRPG when it's French, but like, you know, and the genres are made up and the words don't matter. But like, I just think it's super
just
cool
very similar to a lot of these other games out here that exist.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm very excited. I think that there's a lot of cool stuff in the future for this studio, and I really hope that whatever they do next, we can see them continue to establish that, and they don't have to deal with the idea of like a sophomore slump, just because like this game has been so good, and like I said, honestly put them like on the map as like an indie studio of just like, hey, this is the game that we cared about and we made it, and it's amazing because we are passionate about what we did. Similar to Larian. Like Larian did that with Baldur's Gate 3, and they'd been doing it with their other games as well. But like why is Baldur's Gate 3? That's the one that really
launched.
Yeah, that put them in the public. And so now their name is out there to a whole bigger audience, even though they'd been making games for a while. And they'd made like the Divinity Original Sin games. I'd briefly played one of them, so I don't necessarily have opinions on those games. But like, I think it's great that Baldur's Gate 3 really put them out there because they did such a great job. And then now we have Sandfall as another like indie studio that's gonna be like, hey, we're gonna take our time and make the best game possible. Let's go.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep.
And Stevie calls out in chat, and a good chunk of the team left Ubisoft and then created this game. Yes. I think that's also something we've seen a handful of game studios that have done that, or like been founded out of that principle of like, we're ex Activision devs. We've spent a bunch of time on Call of Duty and now we're making our own game. And then the game ends up just kind of being mid. But like the fact that we got to see them leave and then now it's this great game, like chef's kiss. Good for them. I'm so happy. I'll post, if I haven't already, did I post it in the Discord? Let me scroll up real quick. Yes, I did. I posted the Lumiere music video over in the video game section of our Discord. So again, definitely recommend people go check that out. And Locke on the genre thing says I definitely find it trippy that JRPG is not just a term for a type of game, or is now just a term for a type of game, not where it came from. Yes, like Sea of Stars is a JRPG, even though like it's not from Japan. Like, and so I definitely think that's like, again, genres are made up, but it's definitely funny when it's like attributed to a specific area, and that's like no longer just the case. And so, very fun. People, let me know if you've had a chance to go and listen to the Expedition 33 soundtrack. If you're playing it, like I said, man, I want to talk about it with you. And so, I'm also very excited to go see the, definitely recommend. I'm also excited to see the cosplay. I'm legitimately thinking about doing an Expedition 33 cosplay. I don't know what that's going to necessarily look like, but it does one of the things I really like in games where like the cosplay is a vibe, not a specific uniform. And so, because like none of the characters are wearing like the exact same clothing as their like expedition gear. So it gives you like a good set of like, make this what you want it to be. Like, oh, that's really cool.
Kind of like with
as of course you will see people cosplay.
Get away with your own design.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like there is like, you can cosplay the main characters.
Yeah.
But then there's also so many alternate looks for those characters, but then you can also just like cosplay in the style of. And so I think this game kind of hits that same thing of like, you'll definitely see people cosplaying like Mael, Lune, Gustav, like you'll see those, but then I really hope you see people that are just like, I'm a random expedition team member. I'm from expedition whatever, and get to do that. So it also is continuing my love of games that have really cool jackets.
Yeah. I love a good cool jacket.
Yes, it's a problem for me. I have not bought any, but man, I'm close to it. Let's see. That is what we have for our news for this week. So let's get into a couple announcements. As I referenced, as Locke came in, I will be guesting over on Locke stream this Wednesday. We're going to be playing some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it's Shredded Fate, I think is the name of the game. And so we'll be playing a little bit more of that. And then in 2 weeks on Monday, May 26th, we will be doing our May book club on Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is the 5th Hunger Games book, the 2nd prequel Hunger Games book. And so I'm very excited for all of that stuff. It's Splintered Fate, not thank you, Locke. And so I was close. I had one of the characters and Fate. So like we were there. But yeah, and then as we said during our Daredevil Born Again spoiler cast, very excited that we're going to get to do Sunrise on the Reaping for a book club.
Yeah.
Just since like you and I had gotten to chat about that and then have Shanine be like, well, we could do this. I have it from the library, and we're like, I'm prepared. Let's go.
Yes. I have actually finished it already.
Yes. So I'm very excited for that. I'm also like that it makes it easier for me because I already have the book done. And so this is the first time in a while.
I can spend my time reading other books.
Exactly. So, and and don't feel like we have the deadline of book club. And so,
yeah.
But yeah, I am excited for that. But as we go into post-show chat. As a reminder for everyone, you can find us around the internet as OneGeek411. Join that Discord server. Shoot us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Check out Redbubble store. Watch on Twitch and YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And then you can also find us around the internet on our personal social medias. Mine is Humar Whittle.
Prepared with an eye on the prepared on all platforms.
And it's been a great week.
Listen to music.
Okie dokie.